Hi, I'm Kate Heffernan, and this is a part of a series on downward facing dog pose, just looking at some of the pieces of down dog that are sometimes more challenging for us to address. So, today, what we're going to be looking at is the rotation of the arms in downward facing dog pose. What tends to happen when we're tighter or if we're just not clear on what we're supposed to be doing in down dog is some version of this curling in on yourself and wrinkling through the upper back, and your elbows are kind of splaying out, and sometimes there's even this puffiness in your hands, so not the whole hand is pressing into the floor. So today's sequence is meant to open your arms a little bit in both flexion, reaching up by your ears, and open the arms in such a way so that you can get that external rotation that you need for a really safe down dog with your shoulders. So the first thing you're going to need is a couple of blocks. And you're going to place them on your mat kind of in a stair-step orientation. I do one on the highest height and one on the lowest height, but I'm about 5'5" and pretty flexible. So if you're much shorter than that or much tighter than that, you might decide to go down a couple heights. The most important part I need you to know before you lay back on these blocks is where to place them. So you're going to bring a hand around and feel the back of your shoulder blade and move the other arm around so you're really clear on where the shoulder blade is, and you might even be able to see it on my body. The base of the shoulder blade is where you want the block to go. Where most people want to put it is right where they're already flexible in their mid-back. I want you to put it where you're not flexible. This is your upper back, the thoracic spine. So you'll take your block on whichever height you've chosen, lowest or medium. Hold the block with two hands as you slowly descend. And again, see that I'm making sure it's hitting my shoulder blade line, not the base of my ribs. And as I lay back for my head, I'm going to take that block and make sure it's flush against the floor. Don't let it kind of tip on you. And you want it to be, you kind of fuss with it a little bit, so you make sure you get it really well planted. Then your arms are going to open. Either legs straight, finding that supine Tadasana quality, big toes touching, pointing straight up. Or if this feels intense on your lower back, you could try the lower two heights, or bend your knees, plant your feet, and notice I pick my hips up and then kind of pull my tailbone forward. And that will sort of create length in your lower back while opening your upper back. So you'll stay here. Maybe you let your eyes close. And in this position, I'm going to come back to my straight legs here. In this position, I really want you to notice the sensation of the block pushing into your shoulder blades. So this upper back region is the least mobile part of our back. It's actually the part of the back that's fused while we're still in utero, while we're still in womb. The lower back and neck are sort of fused while we're outside and moving around. So they tend to be more flexible, but flexibility comes at a price, and it usually comes at the price of overdoing something and injuring yourself. You'll find that most injuries in the back are either in your lower back or your neck. So we're trying to bring some attention to a more unintelligent, dull area of our back, the space between the shoulder blades. Now, after you've been here for a few breaths, notice how the heads of your shoulders, with the rate of gravity, naturally drop down away from the center of your chest, so your chest is getting broad from right to left. Also notice how your heads of your shoulders are dropping down and away from your ears, so your neck is broad and open too. Now, finally, your arms are turning open, your palms are facing the ceiling. We call this a Savasana arm. This is the same arm we practice when we're in Savasana. Your biceps are currently facing the ceiling. Your triceps are facing the floor. Now, in a moment, I'm going to turn that on its head. You're going to take an inhale and reach your arms straight up over your shoulders. Turn your palms to face each other like you had a third block between your hands. Now, in this position, your biceps are now facing the wall behind you. Your triceps are facing the wall in front of you. Another way to think of that is your thumbs are facing the wall behind you. Your fingers are facing the ceiling. Keep an imaginary block between your two arms, and then on an inhale, nice and slow, you're going to start to reach your arms back towards the floor above your head. Now, what tends to happen is some version of that. And you see how my armpits kind of splayed out and I lost my palms facing each other? I really want you to firm your hands towards each other so your now thumbs are facing towards the floor, or maybe they're at an angle. Your fingertips at their deepest would be facing the wall at the back of the studio. Firm the elbows in, try to keep straight arms. And it's not at all uncommon that one arm would be more open than the other and go further down. So this position of the arm is known as flexion. You're reaching it up by your ear. And now currently your biceps are facing the floor. Your triceps are facing the ceiling. Keep the energetic squeezing of an imaginary block between your hands. And if that's challenging for you, actually grab a third block and use it between your hands. Holding here another 3 and 2. On your 1, you're going to inhale, rise your arms back up. Exhale, bring your elbows down by your sides. Now there's 2 ways to get out of this pose. I'm going to tell you both ways first, and then you'll choose which one feels less jarring on your back. So for either choice, you're going to bend your knees and plant your feet. Then you can either press into your elbows and lift up with belly strength in your arms, or press into your elbows and kind of tip your way off to one side. And then from here, we're going to ditch our blocks, get them out of the way, and come up into hands and knees. So we're going to continue that work into our upper back, our thoracic spine. Knees directly beneath your hips. Measure out 2 fists between those inner knees so you know you have hips width distance. Hands just about an inch in front of your shoulder heads. Check that your wrists are parallel to the top edge of your mat. Look at your hands and see that you're pushing down through every fingertip, through every knuckle joint. Straightening through your elbows, draw the heads of your shoulders back. Now remember, I was mentioning how the lower back and neck are much more flexible. When we back bend, there's a huge tendency to kind of throw it into our lower back and crank back into our chin. This is not a healthy back bend. This is when we start to overdo it and end up injuring ourselves. So with your next inhale, what I'd like you to do is imagine that block was still on your shoulder blade line and pull your chest forward and up. Yes, your neck and your lower back will have a slight curve to them, but this is a very different picture than this was. So again, my elbows are straight. I'm trying to recreate the heads of my shoulders pulling away from my ears, heads of my shoulders rolling away from the center of my chest. On an exhale, I'm going to push the floor away, round my upper back, and try to lift the spine up and in between the shoulder blades. Inhale here. Again, lead with your upper back. Pull your chest forward and up. Keep your low belly slightly toned, your chin slightly heavy so you don't overdo it in your more flexible areas of your back. Exhale, push back. 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round. Next time you pull forward, draw the heads of your shoulders back. For good measure, 1 time back. And then we'll meet back in the inhaled position, belly dropping, heart space lifting. In this next position, it's going to again open up your arms in that direction of flexion, arms by the ears. I want your hips to stay directly over your knees. It's your hands and your chest that move. So I'm going to start to walk my hands towards the front of my mat. You might go off your mat. That's not a big deal. Notice how I'm still pressing down into my palms really firmly, and then I'm going to drop my chest towards the floor. So you'll see that I'm getting a back bend in here. I draw my front ribs in though, and I keep my sitting bones over my knees. This is Anahatasana, heart opening pose. Now, if when you come here you cannot keep your elbows straight, and admittedly this is quite hard to do, you might benefit from tenting up onto your fingertips, so that when you drop down, your elbows have no choice but to be straight. You can tap your chin to the floor like I'm doing. Some people feel more comfortable with their forehead to the floor. And you might see how my armpits are starting to elongate down towards the floor. Breathing and staying here for 3. Breathing and staying here for 2. And then on your one, press down into your hands enough to lift your chest. Plant your palms back down and walk your hands gradually back towards you. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is that rotation of your arms again. So from a child's pose position, your big toes are touching, your hips are back towards your heels. For a down dog arm, to externally rotate your entire arm, your palms would need to face the ceiling like they would in Savasana. However, we can't put weight on the backs of our hands like this. So the goal here is to keep your biceps facing forward as you flip your palms towards the floor. So there's this rotation of the bicep forward, the tricep faces back. So again, bicep forward, tricep back, but also the hand pressing down and into the floor. So in this position, I'm going to have you rock all the way back to your child's pose. Release your head down. Take an inhale, walk your hands as far forward as you can so your elbows are absolutely straight. And when your elbows are straight, you should feel that there's some space between your elbows and the floor. They shouldn't be slumping down. So again, crawl as far away as you need. See that your hands are about shoulder width distance. Now, keeping that, just rock up onto the outer border of your pinky. That will help you find the biceps lifting. Now, keep your biceps rolling open. Release your index finger line and thumb back to the floor. Keep pushing down into the floor. Roll your biceps forward. Squeeze your triceps in. Keep pressing down into your hands. Lift your forearms up. And these are the actions of your downward facing dog arm. So then all you do from here is take the inhale to rise to all fours. You'll double check the wrist creases, double check that your hands are shoulder width. Recommit to biceps forward, triceps in one final time. And then on your exhale, just so you can see the difference from that first down dog I did, press back and look how much more open the shoulders are. The base of the neck looks free. Breathe and hold for 3, 2. On your 1, you can tap your knees back down and sit back. So thank you so much. Namaste.